My name is Michael Da Battista. I am 40 years of age. I am affected with visual impairment, and the onset of this condition became evident when I was roughly 20 years of age. Basically, the first symptoms were the so-called night blindness, in which I struggled with moving in poorly lit areas. And gradually this condition developed through loss of peripheral vision. I still got residual vision, residual central vision, but when it comes to peripheral vision, it's rather limited. Basically, it's like looking through a straw. It's basically I see things that are directly in front of me, but things that are slightly to my side or below me, actually I might not see them. And that's why I use a walking cane, which sort of serves as an extension of my arm. This helps me navigate through curbs, corridors, etc. And with the cane I could identify landmarks, obstacles, so that I could travel as safely as possible. Another thing that I use is the high contrast settings on my PC as well as on my iPad. It sort of creates sort of a dark background against white font, so that I could read the material as comfortably as possible. For persons who are not quite familiar with me, they might either see me as a pitfall, as an object of pity, if you want to call it like that, or else if they got wind of my qualifications, they might be seeing me as a sort of a triumph over tragedy, which I'm neither of these. As a matter of fact, I see myself as a person like anyone else, really. First of all, there should be changes in attitudes, in the sense that persons with disability should be seen first and foremost as persons rather than poor things. Furthermore, there should also be changes when it comes to accessibility. Here I'm referring both to physical accessibility, for example, having tactile markings in curbs, so that persons with visual impairment could know when they are approaching, for example, a crossroad, or perhaps it's a zebra crossing really rather than a crossroad, or perhaps one could also mention that curbs should be designed in such a way so that it is free of potholes, trees standing in the middle, or or any other obstructions. Moreover, we should also include informational accessibility in the sense that material should be accessed in a wide variety of formats, be it in electronic, audiobooks, and perhaps even braille. Mm-hmm. Well, first and foremost, they have to comport themselves as if just like with any other human being, in the sense that, if, for example, if they want to offer assistance, all they need to do is to approach that person and ask that person as to whether he or she would need assistance. In the sense that, may I also add that in such cases, if the person would accept, I mean, the person offering assistance would listen to the instructions given by the person with an impairment, be it physical or sensorial. Uh, Moreover, may I also add that in the case of the person refusing assistance, it's not the end of the world. Actually, it's a sign that the person has the right to choose, and besides that, the person is knowledgeable and knows what he or she wants. I would like to be seen first and foremost as any other person, in the sense that my visual impairment is just a characteristic, not a defining, overarching feature of myself, in the sense that uh, I've got feelings, I've got aspirations, I've got my concerns, just like any other person. I've got hobbies as well. One of them is related to aviation. Well, so much so that we're taking filming here, next to a very beautifully restored Spitfire Mark 9. Moreover, I like listening to music, particularly when it comes to metal, and also when it's going again to my hobby, which is related to aviation. Actually, it's not the first time that I travel abroad to visit air shows, so much so that I've traveled at least 5 times to various air shows around the world, not counting also the air show that visiting air show that is held in Malta once a year towards the end of September. The most fundamental change that I would like to see is the change of attitudes, in the sense that once we start seeing persons with disability as persons rather than objects of pity, that would be a huge step forward, because through opening of minds, then there is nothing that we cannot do. This also includes when it comes to accessibility, in the sense that when it comes to physical accessibility, for example, we could ensure, for example, that curbs are free from potholes and obstacles, other obstacles such as trees standing in the middle or lampposts, as well as that the design of the physical space is in such a way so that persons with visual impairment could travel safely and independent as much as possible. When it comes to informational accessibility, one should keep in mind that information should be in such a way so that it is produced in diverse kind of formats, ranging from audiobooks to electronic media, and also in Braille. What I would like definitely is the change of attitudes, in the sense that what I would like to see is the change of perceptions about persons with disability, in the sense that persons with disability are seen as humans like any other. In the sense that what I would like to see is that rather than seeing a person with disability as sort of having the impairment as being an overarching thing, people would see the impairment just a mere characteristic, pretty much like the color of one's hair, one's own hobbies, background, affluence, educational background, and so forth. There are people who see me as a sort of a triumph over tragedy. This would become apparent when people get to know about my academic background, in the sense that I've got 2 degrees and I've got the highest of honors on both degree courses. But the way I see myself is that I'm just a person like any other, in the sense that I've got my strengths, I've got my limitations, I've got my likes, dislikes, and so forth.
Cannonball, knocking you walls down, nothing opposes that. You hold ground, you dance around your whole town, yelling. I'm telling the same story, rebelling at the thought of giving up. I'm not stopping and selling my soul. Oh no, I'm not giving the melon, making it happen, breaking limits like I'm breaking commandments. Doing it daily, maybe the beat can save me, raise me up a notch, get up and clutch safely. This crutch is enough, if not, it don't faze me. I'll clutch into another crutch up, may God take me. I'm breaking limits, you're not gonna be able to stop me. I'm an army in harmony, marching pace in the trot. Made in his image, I'm God's breath, believe it or not. Taking a step at a time, making my way to the top.